Welcome, welcome. Tonight is actually the very last course in our networking and business communication in English program. So tonight we're going to be talking all about entrepreneurship in business English. So as a reminder, this is me. I'm Ariella. I'm the founder and CEO of the American Institute. I'm an English teacher originally from Boston, and I've been teaching English and living in Algeria now for almost 6 years. So time really flies. This is our program. So we did 5 sessions. We covered soft skills, networking, making requests, proposing partnerships, leadership and management, negotiations and handling conflicts. And tonight we are talking about entrepreneurship. So before we get going, I would like to know, what is entrepreneurship to you? When you hear the word entrepreneurship, what do you think about? Please send ideas in the chat. I rely on you to send me your ideas, to show me what you already have as an association, what you already know, what you think about entrepreneurship before we get started. Welcome back, everyone. Also, hello. Yeah, entrepreneurship is setting up a business, companies. Entrepreneurship is being an entrepreneur, sure. I think the hardest one is 3 and 5, right? Accelerator and incubator. Oh yeah, see, interesting. You have an incubator in your faculty. Nice. I'm going to give you 1 more minute and then we'll go over answers. Oh, I'm just realizing I should have put the answers on the screen, but I'm just going to tell them to you verbally. All right, let's get going. Put in the chat, business model. What letter? Number 1, business model goes with what letter? B. I see lots of B coming in. Awesome. B. Beautiful. The business model is a description of how a business plans to make a profit. These are super simple definitions because a business model is actually quite a complex document, but at its most basic, it is that, a description of how to make profit. Number 2, elevator pitch. Number 2, what letter goes with elevator pitch? I see C, I see E. E. Any other guesses? I see E, I also see C. Okay, so we're between C and E. So the correct answer is actually E. An elevator pitch is a short, direct message from one person to another to propose an idea. It's probably confusing that it says message because it sounds like maybe it's an email, but in fact, it's just a message given orally, either in the form of a presentation or in a kind of an informal networking scenario where you meet someone and you just give an elevator pitch. Hey, I have this idea, I have this business, and this is what we do. And you have 1 minute to kind of explain exactly what it is you do and maybe ask for their time or a follow-up meeting or something. Great. Number 3, this is a hard one, accelerator. What letter is accelerator? Okay, I have A coming in. A. C. This is the hardest one, yeah, because A and C, I think you've discovered those are accelerator and incubator. They're both programs. So here's the difference. Accelerator is actually going to be A. You'll notice the difference in the definition is the description of the business. So we have an A, we have a program to help young businesses improve their growth. Whereas in C, we have a program to help new startup businesses take ideas and create viable business models. So in A, the business already is existing. It already has some sort of semblance of profit, it has some customers, but it needs help. Whereas in C, this is a new startup business. Maybe they just are in the ideation phase, but they've incorporated their business and they have no idea what to do next. So the incubator, so I'm telling you sort of 3 and D at the same time. The incubator is focused on earlier, younger companies than the accelerator. So if the accelerator is A and the incubator is C, then what does pivot mean? Number 4, what does pivot mean? D, that's right. We have a couple of D's coming in. So to pivot or a pivot, so it's a noun and a verb. In this case, we're looking at it as a noun. A pivot is a shift in business focus or business model. So let's say, actually, we have an example of a pivot. In my peanut butter example, the entrepreneur was selling peanut butter in jars and realized that it would be too expensive, too many costs up front, too risky. And so he decided to pivot. And his pivot was switching to peanut butter bowls that he was baking at his house. Thank you for playing. Round 2. Same rules. I'll give you another 3 minutes. And it's not a mythical unicorn that you'll be defining. Bye, Samir. Thank you for coming, but this is actually our last class, so we won't be here next Wednesday. But thank you so much for coming. Thanks for sending the note. I know, I think some people probably have to go at 8 o'clock, but we'll be posted on YouTube. All right, 1 more minute to those still here. 1 more minute. All right, let us begin. Number 1, unicorn in the startup world. What does it mean to be a unicorn? Number one, unicorn. I have 2D, 3D, 4D. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing the right answer come in. It is D. A unicorn is a word for a company that's valued at over $1 billion. So there's not that many of them in the world. And they are things like Meta for Facebook and I was going to say Amazon, but is it still privately held? Canva. If you ever use Canva to make designs online, Canva is a unicorn, a more recent one as well. Great. Two, innovation. Innovation. What letter are we talking about here? What did you find for innovation? Hey, beautiful. Good job. Innovation is the process of creating new ideas, products, or methods that bring significant improvements or changes. Nice. Number three, venture capital. Venture capital. Number three. We have C with question mark, a few other C's. In fact, the answer is C. So venture capital is a type of funding. When we say capital in this context, we're talking about investments. And venture implies that you're investing in a new company that is not yet proven. So when we refer to the person, a venture capitalist, it's an investor who likes a risk. They want to invest in something risky and new. So funding provided by investors to startups with high growth potential in exchange for equity. Equity means that they own part of your company. They take 5%, 10%, 20% equity in exchange for their investment. Number four, to scale. To scale. E, beautiful. This was maybe too easy because we had it earlier in the presentation, but to scale is to expand is a very simple way of putting it. Kind of to expand a little bit exponentially. So you go from 1 to 4 to 12. That's called scaling. And that means 5. Trailblazer must be which one? B. Cool. Trailblazer is a word that we use not only in the startup space. It is just about someone who is a pioneer, someone who goes first. We call them trailblazer, like they blaze a trail. They open the way for people to come after them. So you'll hear this, and it's a very positive word. You'll hear this referred to people in, they'll say Bill Gates was a trailblazer because of all of the ways that he opened technology to the world. A mentor, a guide, the first person to go. You'll hear this in interviews with famous entrepreneurs. Awesome. So I have one more little thing I want to do with us. I realize we're almost at the end of time here, so we'll just do a few of these, but essentially we're doing idioms, some good idioms to know about entrepreneurship. Idioms themselves, if you're unfamiliar with the term, an idiom is a phrase or an expression with a figurative meaning that differs from the literal meaning. If you're saying, what? Because the definition of idioms is also itself quite long, an example is easier. So when people say it's raining cats and dogs, it's an idiom that means, oh my gosh, it's raining so hard. It's raining cats and dogs outside. So the literal meaning is like cats and dogs flying from the sky, and that's not at all the case. It has a figurative or abstract meaning, means it's raining hard. So we'll do 3 business idioms and then we'll wrap it up. I want you to guess the meaning. To think outside the box. Tell me in the chat, what does it mean to think outside the box? Your best guess. You don't have to be right. To disrupt, to come up with unusual ideas. Good. Anything else? To be limitless, to be open-minded, to think uniquely. Great. To think creatively and differently in a non-traditional way. So this is something we consider very positive. Oh, come on, everyone. It's time to think outside the box. Let's have some good ideas. Cool. Movers and shakers. Who are movers and shakers? I'll tell you right now, this is about people. People are movers and shakers. You can be like, oh, that company, they're full of movers and shakers. Give me some ideas if you've heard of it. I think outside the box is probably pretty common. Movers and shakers, I think, is less common. What does it mean? Okay, Bilal says it's the personalities. Great, but what kind of personalities? Leaders and followers. A little bit yes, a little bit no. I'll give you a hint. There's no followers in leaders and shakers. Bipolar disorder. I think you are contrasting them like they're different. Interesting. Competent people with a question mark. It's a guess. It's a good guess. People who solve problems. We're getting closer. Yes. Any other guesses before I go and show it? Persuaders. Maybe. All right, here it is. Movers and shakers are people who make changes and have an impact. It's a really positive thing. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the idea that they're not happy with the norm or the status quo. They want to move things, shake things up. They change things. They have an impact. So that's why I said maybe leaders, but definitely not followers. It's movers and shakers are considered the same. It's not one type are movers and one are shakers. It's a joint description. You always say both. Oh, they are really movers and shakers. Algerians, yeah, movers and shakers as a people, as a nationality, something like that. Cool. Take the plunge. What does it mean? And you're guessing. The thing about idioms is you can never actually know the meaning until you have been exposed to it. So guessing is just fun. There's really no way to guess right unless you've heard it. Okay, take risks, take the risk. Anything else? Dive, take a chance. Yeah, so you see the image we're getting of someone diving in the water. Beginning. Someone saying, is it about trends, being famous? Not really. We're more in the risks. Or beginning. Hisham has just begin. Yeah, I like that. So here it is. Taking the plunge is actually doing something. You do something that you really want to do, even if it may be risky or dangerous. So you're saying, I've been wanting to start a new business for years, and I just said, khalas, I'm taking the plunge. I'm doing it. So I think the best answers were about risk, but also just begin. Really just begin something you want. All right, last one. I know I said 3, but we're going to do 4. This one is more of an expression that people will quote to you. The expression is nothing ventured, nothing gained. What do you think it means? No risk, no gain. Any other answers? I think, yes, you kind of got the nail on the head right away, but I still want to see no pain, no gain. You need stakeholders, risk it all, take the risk, make profit. Here it is. You have to take a risk in order to get something good. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I think we will end on that note because I know everyone needs to get back to their evening. I have so many more that I wanted to get to, a game and everything, but this was a wonderful discussion. Thank you for participating. Oh, I see no bees, no honey. I also love that so much. Where's my last slide? That just says thank you. I have a last slide that says thank you for your participation. It doesn't want to come up. We're just maybe going to be stuck on the Q&A slide. Okay. We can also say khalas to that. But I will say thank you just with myself and my face. Thank you so much. Thank you for participating in the business classes. It was lovely to get to know you through the chat. If you ever do see me in the street, at the Institute, at the US Embassy, introduce yourselves. let me know that you are a student with me, and I hope this was useful and interesting. And I encourage you to continue participating in these kinds of professional development opportunities. I wish you all the best of luck. And know that we have 2 more classes left for the medical English program. I don't know if anyone here is following both, but medical English is every Sunday. There's 2 weeks left of that. And we will be launching our last and final course for the year. It should be in July and August. And that is all about how to apply to US exchange programs. It may be online. It also may be in person at the Institute. Stay tuned. We will post about it on the US Embassy and the American Institute Instagrams. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Have a good rest of your evenings and hope to see you. Hope to see you soon.